Young ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again. Good evening to all of you. In international news, Russia has just dealt another very heavy blow to NATO. Yes, as we have said, Russia is moving slowly but surely while waiting for what Russia is planning to do on a larger scale. But Russia has raised the stakes in the past 24 hours on the Ukrainian front. No, nothing is going well anymore. Several Ukrainian cities are on fire. Several cities. So what happened yesterday is that these air raids produced their results. Several cities were bombed. But above all, what draws much more attention is that there were more than 50 French mercenaries in Ukraine, and in this strike, Russia managed to hit them. So, this is causing panic. It is causing panic. And so, in this video conference, ladies and gentlemen, this is of course what we are going to talk about. So, before continuing, I ask you to share this video conference as much as possible. Share it in all possible groups. Above all, show a lot of support, give lots of hearts, lots of likes, and above all, don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. Subscribe. Click on subscribe to subscribe. There you go. So, then, according to the official information and the images available, like the one you can see here, this image you see here shows the cities where Russia is currently sending the powder. We can only see the smoke. But let me clarify again. This is not yet the major event that is expected. No. But this small, subtle act is actually very, very painful, because Russia is just pressing down on the accelerator. Yes, and the Western media aren't talking about it. They keep reporting on their so-called little victories, their Sunday and Monday victories. They don't want any other kind of reporting to be done. They want to keep giving Ukraine strength in terms of rhetoric, so that at the negotiating table, Ukraine will have a good position. But in practice, on the ground, things are not going well at all. It's not going well for Ukraine. That's why, by the way, Volodymyr Zelensky was in tears yesterday. He was denouncing what he calls the relentless continuation of activities by Putin, saying that Putin is not afraid of the consequences of his actions. We need to force Putin to be afraid of the consequences of his actions. The footage you're seeing here shows combat localities that were liberated on June 4th. When you hear liberated, you should understand that these are localities that have been retaken by Russia, localities that belong to Ukraine which have been recaptured. This means that over there as well, another problem arises. Since in a few weeks, Russia will include this in its negotiation demand, saying this territory must be liberated, there must be international recognition of such territory. So, these images are being circulated by the Russian Ministry of Defense, which really show. I can't post them because I don't have any copyright. Otherwise, I would have posted the image for you. It's very serious. Nevertheless, I will see how I can display the images. What Russia is doing on the ground is very serious. As for NATO equipment, Russia is only targeting ammunition depots. Targeting ammunition depots, and when Russia destroys the ammunition depots, in fact, the term ammunition depot is replaced by Ukraine with residential building or civilian residence. It hurts them so much that they want to accuse Russia in a different way. Even though these are ammunition depots, the very soldiers on the front line no longer have any ammunition. And the little that is still stored there, Russia just keeps destroying. And through all of this, everyone is left speechless. Russia doesn't say anything. It's the war correspondents, those who are on the ground, who are doing the filming. And then, a few rare pieces of this footage, like the ones you see here, are broadcast by the Russian Ministry of Defense as reports on the progress of the special military operation. On the other side, it's a heavy blow for NATO, as we said, a heavy blow for France. You know, these people said they would not send soldiers on the ground. But unfortunately, what we see is the opposite. There are actually a lot of NATO soldiers on the ground, especially with that strike on June 4, 2025, near Odessa, in the Odessa region. 50 French mercenaries were hit in the strike. According to the official information communicated to Sputnik by Sergei Lebedev, who is the coordinator of the pro-Russian underground network in Nikolaev. He specified that the number of mercenaries could reach 50, referring to the French who were hit. And this is a hard blow. France is secretly sending mercenaries, and France does not want people to realize it. Despite the demonstrations that have taken place in France to say, we do not want to die for France, the French are going to serve alongside Ukraine. And these are the targets. These are the sites that Russia is targeting. And then we can see what's happening. So it should be noted that other targets have been hit, especially in the Odessa region, where a logistics platform and warehouses were struck. In Kherson as well. Kherson was wrecked yesterday. And again today, yes, Kherson was hit. A drone assembly workshop was hit. A drone assembly workshop. The places where Ukraine makes its drones, assembles them, and then launches them, that was attacked. But the Western media don't talk about it. They don't mention it. And that's because for Russia, it's not considered that significant. Now, it is very serious. It is very big. It's significant. Because Ukraine operates using drones. And if these drones are hit, it means it's a major loss. But as usual, Ukraine downplays it. That's it. So there was also a temporary deployment point for the Ukrainian armed forces in Kharkiv that was hit. A temporary deployment point means there were soldiers stationed there. They were temporarily deployed there before being sent elsewhere. But they were hit. And a warehouse of equipment was also hit. Various military equipment. So here are the realities on the ground this morning of June 4, 2025. For now, it should also be noted that Putin says Russia says it is getting ready. This is not yet the retaliation. This is still the ongoing special military operation. This has nothing to do with the retaliation. That's what this is about. So before ending this video conference,